Well, it's 11:11 p.m. and this is tomorrow's video. So it's going up later than usual. It probably will not uh, go online as far as YouTube goes till after midnight, and I'll probably stay up and put it on Facebook right around the same time it goes up on YouTube. Uh, the blurb for today's video, or actually tomorrow's video, was written yesterday. I'm going to go ahead with it, but first I'm going to talk about Facebook a little bit. I did a special video yesterday uh, on Facebook because I was blocked, or my account was suspended because I was fake. I had a fake account. That was the accusation. At first I thought it was the government that might have been doing that. And if it was, they probably would not have apologized and reinstated my account as of today. It was out for about 19 or 20 hours, as near as I can figure, and I had no access to my own Facebook account, and neither did anybody else. But I've had a lot of follow-up since it came back on, a lot of congratulations, a lot of people relieved that my voice remains on the internet, and Facebook is probably even more than YouTube. Facebook is the main vehicle of communication. Yes, I know it's CIA. Yes, I know it's government controlled. Yes, I know all of that stuff. They mean it to spy on us. I am using it, and others are using it as an awakening tool. It's a tool that we can use to have real media and give another point of view, another side of the story, another perspective. In any case, I am back online on Facebook, and I was able this afternoon, after I went back online, to post the video for today up on Facebook. It didn't get up till the afternoon instead of early in the morning as usual. In any case, as I said, the blurb that and the topic that I have for today was before. It was written yesterday, before I knew that Facebook was coming back. I was very upset with what had happened, and the title that I selected was My Kind of Neutrality. And I wrote this blurb. In regard to whether the world continues under the apparent rule of psychopathic maniacs and cosmic terrorists, I am not, nor will I ever be neutral. I am flat out against such cosmically allowed insanity. I will oppose and speak out against this universally criminal behavior as long as I have a mind and breath. Here's where I am neutral. How we get to a world that works for everyone is up to a power greater than me. I am willing to forgive all those who play dark roles in whatever the hell this process is called, so long as they never again employ such painful and insane tactics. You may think I'm playing God, and you're right. I would not allow the pain and suffering, the gross violation of free will that I have witnessed firsthand in my 67 plus years on this planet. I have no problem pointing my finger and saying, God, you fucked up. There had to be a better way. How could you sit back and watch your children go through what we have gone through and not lifted a finger to transform the madness? I don't care how you do it, but either fix it or blot me forever out of whatever record you keep. I don't want to be in a world run by an insane force that makes no sense to any intelligent, feeling, sentient being. I'm not neutral. Now, I wrote that yesterday. I just got back a little while ago from a Jamie Lula concert. This is his latest CD called Naked. Jamie Lula is an amazing performer, and his song Perfect and Mother, Father, God, There's a Healing Going On are my two favorites. Naked was a pretty good song too. We did sing that one tonight from his CD. And I've heard him before. He's a performer like few others. the spirit, he actually improvises a lot of songs right there on the stage. So you won't even get to hear Jamie Lula on a CD the way you can get to hear him in person, because his concert is totally different. For example, Mother, Father, God, he did that totally a cappella tonight. I'm pretty sure the recording has music on it. It's been a while since I've listened to it, but I'm pretty sure it had music behind it. He had the guitar in his hand, but he total a cappella the whole song. And a beautiful range and a beautiful way of presentation, and the spirit's amazing. He brought a friend with him. They're here in Florida for the Posse Awards, along with many other positive singers from around the country. And this lady is Marcy Baruch, and this is her CD that I purchased tonight. And I talked with her briefly afterwards, and something she said caught my attention. She said she looks for a world that works for everyone. Now, where have you heard that before? I say it all the time. And here's this woman that I'm meeting for the first time who lives in Colorado, and she's saying the same words that I use all the time. And she said, please go and write on a thing, because I want to talk to you some more. And we only talked briefly. There's a whole bunch of people, and everybody's clamoring for her attention, obviously. But she wanted me to make a notation on her sign-in sheet where she takes down our email addresses and stuff. And she wanted me to put a star by it and mark it, and said, talk to me about a world that works for everyone. So I expect that there will be some follow-up there. But my spirit, the point is of bringing that up, is my spirit is in a totally different place than where it was when I wrote the blurb. And I want to emphasize something to you that listen to me regularly, and especially those of you that may not listen regularly, but listen with a critical attitude. I blocked, I think, 3 or 4 people yesterday. One of them was, I think his handle was Spirit Walker 777, who said, this man is not spiritual. He drinks, he uses profanity, or I don't remember all that he said, but he went through a litany of things that prove that I'm not spiritual. Well, I want you to know something. This man and many others that have been brainwashed have no clue what spirituality is. Spirituality isn't being pious. It isn't being self-righteous. It isn't being better than other people. Spirituality, the highest form of spirituality, everything is spiritual, but the highest form of spirituality is being real. It's being authentic and genuine, and being willing to be vulnerable and tell the truth. Being willing to share your dark moments as well as your mountaintop experiences. It's not about wearing a plastic smile or putting on a happy face or putting your best foot forward. It's about being real. That's real spirituality. It's about being really human, being willing to be human. When I wrote that saying, God, you fucked up, that's what I was feeling. I was feeling that, look, here you've given me this ministry, and the government's taking it away from me through Facebook. It's taking my biggest platform away from me. And I was pissed. I was really pissed. When I went to the Love Line last night, I was pissed. I mean, this had just happened, and I was not a happy camper. I was not a happy camper. Although I felt a whole lot better after doing the Love Line, and I feel a whole lot better after going to hear Jamie Lula and Marcy Baruch. If that's how you say her name. They pronounce it different, Baruch or something. They pronounce it differently than I do. I pronounce that word Baruch. But in any case, both evenings out lifted my spirits, and I was in a different place afterwards than I was before. But I'm still feeling the angst. I'm still feeling the anxiety of not seeing the changes, the manifestation of the dream, of the vision that I've had. I still feel the anxiety of being so close and yet not being able to see it fully manifested, of still having psychopaths able to do things like get my Facebook page turned off for almost a full day. And I'm convinced it wasn't the government that did it, by the way. I'm convinced it was not necessarily Spirit Walker, but what was the other woman's name? Let me just see if I can uh, catch that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. It takes too long to scroll on Facebook. There's so much stuff on my wall, it's not funny. But anyway, there was one lady who may be the same lady with two different identities who accused me of being a fake, and 11 paragraphs in one of her things, and then there were numerous other posts. Contessa something. There were two different Contessas, and a Tara something. I may be wrong, but I blocked both of them. Or actually, I think I blocked at least three people, maybe four people yesterday. Because I'm not going to put up with the bullshit of people pointing a finger. I mean, if it's open discussion and not name calling and not totally critical, if there's something redeeming and they're just discussing an idea, I'm open-minded. I'm not going to be open-minded to abuse. I'm going to draw a line. I don't deserve, and neither does anybody else deserve, to be abused. I'm not going to go on somebody else's Facebook wall or YouTube channel or whatever and criticize and tell them where they're wrong. That's not my job. And if you are so self-righteous that you think that's your job, you might have a few things to learn yourself, although I respect the fact that that's where you are in your stage of development. There was a time that I felt that I had the right and the responsibility, actually, to tell other people where they were wrong, although I was never, I hope to God I was never as blatant about it as some people are. I mean, some people, that really come across really arrogant and judgmental and self-righteous. They really, my sister's that way. And it's time that we put that stuff behind us as best we can, but we have to, if we're there, we have to honor ourselves for being there. That's where neutrality comes in. You have to be neutral and be able to accept yourself as you are, where you are right now. You have to be willing to embrace all of the shadow elements, the darkness, the negativity, and everything else, if that's where you are. Denial will not cut the mustard. It will not produce transformation. Transformation begins by taking the dross elements, the grosser elements of reality, and transforming them. But you first have to acknowledge them and embrace them. You have to be real about it. Not some phony and putting on a mask. It's not about that. It's not putting up shields and armor on to protect ourselves. It's about being vulnerable and honest enough to be vulnerable. That's where it's all at. And be neutral with yourself. Allow yourself the space to go through the processes, whatever you want to call them, the awakening process or whatever you want to label it as. Allow yourself to go through it. You're going to go through stages. That's the way life is. That's the way evolution is. It progresses one stage after another, and we grow up. We begin to look at ourselves from various perspectives. The perspective of when I was this age and going through this situation, and the perspective of when I got a little bit older and went through a similar situation. I saw it a little bit differently than I did before, and I've grown because I'm now able to get a better perspective, have a better grasp of what's going on than I did back then. It's progression. You are neutral in that. You are neutral insofar as feeling the need to call people on the carpet. Now, public servants are a different thing, and I'm going to be point blank. Public servants accept the role of being a public servant, and they have put themselves in a place where they're going to get the flack, and they deserve to, because most of our public servants are not accountable to the people, and they think that they're above the law and above common sense and common decency. They think they're something else. As I said, I'm always going to be against the psychopathic behavior. And I was thinking as I was driving home tonight, bankers, lawyers, and judges and legislators, I actually put that in there too, are probably the four most despicable professions on the face of the earth. They are criminal professions, organized crime professions. The legislators make laws that create loopholes that allow people to get away with murder, lying, theft, and many other crimes. And the lawyers are part of the lie. The whole bar association thing is part of a legal system that is built on lies. It's total fabrication. It's total falsehoods. It's fraud and corruption at its worst. And the judges are the ones that actually commit the crimes using the police by giving orders to police to do things which are unlawful to do. Seizing property, false arrests, and things like that. The judges, the buck stops with the judges. They are the ones that pronounce the verdict, if you will. They give the order. And most of the time, much of the time, they are lawbreakers in what they do. And the bankers support it all by funding the game through the corporations, and it's all corporate for-profit corporation structure. This is the world that we live in, that I find myself in, that I rail against. I'm not going to say that I'm neutral because I'm not neutral. That game has served its purpose. Those dark roles have fulfilled their function. We have awakened. All of us? No, of course not. But I have, and many others have. Most of you that listen have awakened. And we're letting our light shine the best we can by supporting the truth, by supporting the call for justice, by supporting the end of war and the creating the elements that can bring peace on earth. And as my friend Marcy says, and as I've often said, making a world that works for everybody. That's what our goal is. That's what our responsibility is. We are accountable for that. It's time that we take the bull by the horns, as it were, and we say, I'm not going to let go till you bless me. That's what Jacob did when he wrestled with the angel at Bethel, I guess it was, where he wrestled with the angel and the Jacob's ladder, and he said, I'm not going to let go of you till you bless me. We need to get a hold of whatever this power greater than us is, which is also in us. It's not beyond us, it's in us, and we need to see that. But we need to get a hold of that power and say, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. I'm not going to be satisfied until we have a world that works for everybody, where everyone is responsible, everyone has accountability, where no one can escape behind some corporate veil, some type of immunity that allows them to get away with crimes that the average Joe or Jane cannot get away with. I'm not going to be satisfied until this matter of justice and truth is addressed, and addressed honestly and addressed fairly. I'm not going to be neutral. I'm not going to let go of that. It does make a difference. How we get there, I don't care. I don't care if God has a walk-in for Pope Francis, who walks in and changes Pope Francis's direction, assuming that that's a possibility. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying some people are saying that. And I recognize that. And is it possible? It's possible. Anything is possible. I'm not fixed on a certain way of accomplishing the world that works for everybody. But I'm not neutral about not wanting the world to continue as it has. It must change. I will never be neutral there. Anyway, oh my goodness, 19 and a half minutes. Thank you for listening. I did go a little bit longer than usual, but it's still under 20 minutes, and that's good. I'll be back tomorrow, actually the next day. Tomorrow is almost here. This is my video for then. Namaste. Oh, there it is.